Hi, welcome to Blender 5 course. In this chapter, I'm going to explain about the camera and some techniques to get a better and more cinematic result from your renders. Here I have scene with a model, textures, and also lighting. You know about all of them. You know about how to add lights, different lights. I've explained it in the previous chapters, and also how to apply a texture to a complicated model like this. Also, this is the T-Rex model that you can download from blackcave.com asset store, and also the link is in the description. This model is game ready. Actually, it's not high poly, and it's ready to use inside games. It's optimized, and you can get it from blackcave.com. All right, here we have three cameras in the scene. The cameras are the final view and final representation that we before rendering that we can utilize and set some settings, for example lens, depth of field, and so on. And then if we press render image or render animation, we'll see the final result through the camera view. Here we have the three cameras here. If I press 0, this camera is the default one. As you can see, it's selected. And if I press 0 on the numpad on the keyboard, you can change the key map in the preferences and key map section. You can change it if your keyboard is minimal. Press 0 on the numpad and you can see the preview of this. Actually, I'm rendering using the Eevee engine. You can use cycles or use different shadows if you want to get a better result. My result is not so good actually. Here, this camera is selected. I can select this one or this one. These are the camera views right here. So, how to add cameras and configure them. Here I can press Shift and A, and here add a new camera. Alright, let's enable the gizmos and the UIs in the scene. Press G, and here you can see this is the camera we've created here. I can double click on it and change its name, and here I can select this to make it a default camera. Here if I press 0, I can see the camera view, and let's disable the gizmos. And here we can see and set the camera. But if you open a new project, you may need to press N on the keyboard, and here enable the camera to view. If you disable it, in many cases, this one is disabled by default. If you move here, you will quit from the camera view. You need to press N and this one to change the camera view, just like the viewing, regular viewing. And here you can pan and move the camera wherever you want. Alright, or press Ctrl and middle mouse button to zoom in and zoom out. But we have some settings in the camera section. The first one is the lens. We can change the focal length of the lens to get a closer view or more far view. It is a simple word that I can explain about focal length. Actually, if you search in the Google, you will see we have many differences between a low focal length and high focal length, or FOV actually. And for instance, you may see a face of the human with focal length of 80 or 85 and focal length of 30, for instance. And there are a lot of differences: the size of the nose, the size of the chin, and so on. So there are many differences, and Actually, you need to change the focal length based on your situation. If you want to render from a prop, for example, a sofa, or for example, a bag, you need to select something like 15. It's enough. But if you want to render from a creature or a character and a cinematic view is important for you, value of 80 is better. But let's introduce the sections of the lens. The first one is perspective. Perspective is based on the 3D view. Completely near objects are near and big, and far objects are far and little. But if you put it on orthographic, here you can see if I zoom in and zoom out, it's not important actually. In orthographic, it's not important, and the distance, it's not important in this view. And some settings are different. Here we can, instead of FOE, we can change the orthographic distance. The next is panoramic. It does look like the perspective, but some differences. But actually, you can see there are not a noticeable difference. And I stick to perspective, or the orthographic and panoramic. Custom is not so important. You can change settings based on your needs, but the default settings are the perspective. Actually, in many software and game engines, two main sections are perspective and orthographic, and these are the main views of any camera you can see in the 3D view. The next is focal length, and as I said, let's see the differences. If I change it to 10, you can see the model is so long. You can see the difference. There are a lot of way from the tail to the mouth. This is the lower value of focal length. But if I set it to 80, as you can see, it is more cinematic, and you can see kind of this camera in the movies and visual effects and so on. This is nice. Even in some cases, we may need to set it to 85, and in our case, 70 is better. And you can change the lens unit, millimeters or field of view. Field of view is another method in some software and game engines. For instance, Unity engine use the field of view, or FOV. Here, if you make a lower, set it to lower value, you can see it is look like the higher value in the millimeter, but we'll use millimeters. You can change the shift X, shift the camera, shift Y. It is not so useful, at least for our tutorial and our job. You can change the clip start and end. You can set the camera rendering range. Actually, it will start rendering from this distance 0.1 meter, which it will prevent from some bugs and graphical issues. And don't set it to 0, it's not so good, as you can see, and it will cause some issues. The 0.1 is better. If you set it to 5, for instance, you can see if I get closer to the object, you can see it disappearing, because this distance is the 5 meter, and we can't see the model. We need to set it to 0.1. It is good, and we can see the model properly. And the end, we can set the end distance for rendering. For instance, you can set it to 10, and here we need to get closer to see. If we go farther, you can see the model is disappearing, and it is also useful for optimization. You can, for instance, consider you have a city to render, and you don't want to render all the city, and it's actually very very heavy to compute for the PC, and you can set it to lower value in some situations. The next is the depth of a field, and it's very important to making a scene more cinematic and more realistic. Here, let's enable it. We can make the far blur, add blurriness to the far distance or to the near distance. This is a technique that we can see in the movies and animations, renders, or even images. It is very useful and inspired by the human eye. That you, when you focus on something, the other sections and other areas will be blurred, and this is technique in the 3D view as well. Here you can also select the object using this tool, like this object, to work on specifically this object, and it will detect the distance of the camera and the object automatically. But if you don't want, you can set the distance actually manually. Here you can use this tool as well and select this to calculate the distance automatically, or you can change the distance, but you can't see anything because I can see some blurriness, as you can see, because we need to configure the f-stop. Lower f-stop value means more blur effect, and higher is lower blur effect. Here, to set the proper distance, my technique is to set the f-stop to, for instance, a lower value. This value is good, and set the distance. Here we can easily set the distance better. Here, for example, I wanna set the camera here, good, or here. Okay, and here we need to change the distance to take this area, not these areas. These areas should be blurred. Alright, and here we can easily, this is the proper distance, and here we can easily change the f-stop. This value is good, and you can see we have a very beautiful and more cinematic result. All right, let's disable this light, or this light. No. This is better. Let's disable this light and change the power, increase the power, or we can easily increase the exposure. It's not good. 2 or 3 is better, I think. 2 is better. Right. And also let's change the temperature to change the color. You know about it. I've explained it in the lighting chapter. Alright, this is so good. Alright, let's pick the camera again. And here, let's introduce the other options. Blades is related to some shapes when you zoom in inside the blurred area, and you can see some shapes. For example, rectangle shapes. You can see the blur particles like triangle, rectangle, and other shapes. And you can change the rotation of the shapes. For example, if you have a triangle, let's zoom in to check we can see or not. Here we need to disable the camera to view, and here zoom in, preferably in the bright areas, actually. Right. Here, as you can see, if I change the blades value, each number represents a specific shape. For example, Here you can see the edge of the model. It's different. Let's enable the backdrop here. See it again. Here, let's change the area light to this value and increase the light to see the blurriness better. Here, if I change the blade, you can see the shape is different. This is actually circle. This is a triangle and other shapes, rectangle. For instance, let's select the triangle and change the rotation. You can see the rotation of the triangle is changing. You can manage anything in the depth of field, and this is so important. Or you can change the ratio. You can increase the depth of field vertical size, for instance 50. This is so good, and we have this effect. This is so beautiful. As I said, you can set it based on your needs, but I don't want to change the default values. I don't need. Here, transparent, and this is the depth of field. The next is the camera, and it looks like the lens, and you don't need to change it. For instance, if you change the size, you will see the depth of field is changing. The actually focal length is changing in another way, and you can set it based on the horizontal, vertical, or auto. You don't need to work with it. It's not so important. I don't work on some important sections like safe areas. It's not so important for now for our work or background image. Actually, we have many other ways to add a backdrop and background to some transparent sections. A better way is to adding the backdrop in the composition section. Will work later. Next is the viewport display. This is related to the viewport section, not for the final render. These are not so important, but this section is so important. Here we have some areas out of the camera. Here we can make these section completely appear by disabling this, or we can make it transparent, completely transparent, or not. Here this is completely black, and we can see the pure camera, and this is so important. You can set it based on your needs. The other sections are related to the animation and adding some custom properties. This is not necessary for us. This is advanced, and we'll keep the animation section for the animation chapter in the next chapters of our course. Alright, this is the camera, and it's so easy but very necessary and useful, because the camera is the final view for the final render and final result. We have many techniques which is so important for someone who wants to render, especially rendering in animation or movie or VFX, to decide wherever the camera should be placed. And you need to try many areas, many sections in different scenes to get used to. See you later.